Welcome to It's the Muppet Show podcast. I'm Heather.
I'm Jason.
Today we are watching Season 1, Episode 14 with our very special guest star, Sandy Duncan.
Woohoo, Sandy Duncan.
So it's originally aired October 4th, 1976 in New York.
Yeah, Sandy Duncan. Jeez. I know her most from the Hogan family,
Yep.
personally.
Yeah, I think growing up, that would have been where you really saw her, but her long-standing Peter Pan.
Yep, and that's not her only Disney crossover. I'm a big Disney fan.
Yeah, she seems to have worked really well with Disney for a long time.
Yep. She was in The Cat from Outer Space,
Which I loved.
She was in The Fox and the Hound. She was one of the voices in Fox and the Hound. She played Pinocchio.
Yep, actually around the same time.
Musical adaptation.
Yeah, around the same time as this episode was airing, they did a live action Pinocchio that was made for TV, so also in 1976. And I think it's interesting, so she played Peter Pan on Broadway in 66 and then later again in 79, and Pinocchio as well, so she's playing these
Boys.
these little boys. I mean, she's such a slight person. Like, she's very small. She almost always has short hair, so I can see why that would just be the thing.
Yeah, I could see that.
But I think it's interesting that they didn't have actual boys playing these parts, and it's kind of historically, Peter Pan has become historically a women's role in Broadway.
Yeah. One last Disney tie. Her first movie ever was a Disney movie, The $1 Million Duck.
The $1 Million Duck.
Yep.
Nice. Is it a play on The $1 Million Man? Like, is it a bionic duck?
I don't. It's a Dean Jones movie. It's a family comedy. I don't have much on $1 Million Duck.
Okay. So I think there's a few interesting things for me for Sandy Duncan. She was, again, shortly after appearing on The Muppet Show, she was part of the miniseries Roots.
Oh, I did see that, yep.
Which I want to give a shout out to LeVar Burton, who played Kunta Kinte, which was like the title role. And LeVar Burton is now going to be the new host of Jeopardy. So shout out to LeVar.
Nice.
Anyway, so she was a character on Roots, which is, for 1977 was probably the most serious made for TV anything that there was going to be about slavery. I mean, it was a very intense show for the time. And
yeah, I recall it being a lot for me to take in.
Yeah, and it was everyone talked about it for years, for decades after that was this just groundbreaking, we need to talk about slavery, but now it was pretty light.
Right.
Anyway, just wanted to shout out to Roots because I feel like that was a big change for her. And then she returned to stage, but she's still working, she's alive and well and working to this day. Two things I really love. In 2006, she played Auntie Mame in the Broadway show, or Mame. It was the Barrington Stage Company, so not actually Broadway, over in Western Massachusetts.
Very cool.
Mame is one of my favorites. I love this movie. If you have not seen Auntie Mame, which is a 1956 classic, just watch it. It's so good. It's this socialite, stylish woman who, drinks and parties and drinks and parties and drinks and parties. And then she, inherits a child. And hilarity ensues.
All right.
But it's so stylish
and
gorgeous. And there's this crazy couch that you just need to watch. And the people who made that role or that play popular originally was Angela Lansbury in the title role and B. Arthur as her co-star, which I think is great. And I would time travel tourism for that show in a minute.
All right. Nice.
Yeah. And then to wrap back into Peter Pan, because that was Sandy Duncan's, big role that everybody knows her for. In 2016, she played the role of Madame Dumour, which I'm not going to pronounce that right, in the production of Finding Neverland. So she kind of, aged out of playing Peter Pan, but still returned to the Peter Pan story.
Right.
Just a few years ago.
Sure.
I really like Sandy Duncan.
Yeah, she's great. She was actually, before Barney and Friends became a TV show, she actually worked on the first 3 Barney videos. I wasn't...
Now I hate her. No, I'm just kidding.
I knew I could spoil it with that.
Hate Barney.
She wasn't actually on Barney and Friends. It was Barney and the Backyard Gang.
Don't care. Can't stand that purple dinosaur.
Well, keep that in your head. Sorry about that. Well, cool. Let's see how this episode pans out. I know it's a good one. We'll leave that in.
Yeah. Gang's all here.
Yeah. Yep.
Sparkly tights.
They're looking great as always. It's the Muppet Show. I don't get that joke. Fozzie was saying we were so poor growing up. I was born at home. My mother had to visit the hospital after I was born.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
They're
sort of
always bad.
self-deprecating humor, but it doesn't, like, the poor part doesn't tie in.
Right. They're always
Yeah,
bad
Sandy
jokes, but that one didn't pan out for sure. And this time when Gonzo hits the he accidentally drops the mallet. So
He resonates.
Yeah, he hits the gong with his head instead. And that was the first time Sandy wasn't actually Muppet mobbed. She was just sitting there by herself.
Yeah.
Kermit announces that the first act is going to be a bang-up affair, which cues Crazy Harry, who literally blows Kermit off the stage and up into Statler and Waldorf's booth.
And then he just, like, doesn't miss a beat and announces the first act from the Statler and Waldorf's box.
Yeah, only to get blown up again by Crazy Harry.
Yeah.
Leaving Fozzie to actually introduce the number. That's, there's only a few times that happens. And this is Fozzie's chance to introduce Sandy Duncan.
She sings, she dances, she acts, she makes you feel good all over, and that's very true.
Yeah.
I feel like their, like, synopsis of each actor is, like, perfect.
True. So, what do we have here? A barscape with the Electric Mayhem playing. Or
Yeah.
at least most of the Electric Mayhem. I guess it's just Zoot and Dr. Teeth and Animal.
Yeah, it's just like the bar band.
Right. But we have Sandy at the bar drinking with the Mutations, Sweetums, and she's performing a song, A Nice Girl Like Me.
And she's just getting hammered throughout this entire skit.
Yeah.
She's just, like, tossing back whiskey sours, I think, is in the song.
Yep, those are the lyrics.
And it's very much like the
Mutations.
Mutations are there, Sweetums is there. They're just tossing her around,
Yep.
dancing, and she's drinking as they're tossing her around.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird skit. I guess,
Where's the song from?
Yep, it's actually a Barry Manilow song, and it's actually A Nice Boy Like Me is the actual name of the song that this performance comes from. It was released in 1975 on Barry's Trying to Get the Feeling album.
Huh.
Yeah.
And so we just reached this point. So we were watching it the other day, and at that point, you were just like, it's starting to feel a little, like, dangerous for her.
Yeah.
And at that, right as you said that, they rip off her skirt.
Yeah, she's got a dancing leotard underneath. But
Yes.
I'm like, this...
It very well timed. Your feelings were on point.
Yeah, the Muppets were getting progressively more aggressive with their dance style, and I'm not a teetotaler, but she's,
She just did like 6 or 7 shots in a row, but she uses this to do a little spin and blow the alcohol in their faces and knocks everybody out.
Yeah.
So she can hold her own.
Yeah, she's safe in the end. But she did. The dancing was great.
Yeah.
I loved it. And
Statler and
Statler.
Waldorf approve.
Yeah, they love it.
Really weirdly inappropriate joke about
Yeah.
Waldorf finding a young girl.
Yeah, but young is relative with them. Let's just put it.
Could be Sandy.
Yeah, absolutely. So we cut to the backstage here, where Fozzie begs Kermit to lend him $5 to pay his comedy writer.
And this begins the...
Gags Beasley is his writer. And this Gags Beasley bit cues the banana skit.
Yep.
It's a skit that...
Through line. It's the banana skit through line because they never actually do the banana skit.
Right.
Or sketch.
Right. But we'll get back to that. And now we're on to the Swedish chef. His kitchen's a little different, or we're seeing a different angle of it.
Nope, totally different.
Yep.
We got some 70s wall, like, pine paneling.
Yep.
And he's taking a muffin and throwing it into the air
muffin.
and shooting it.
Yep.
And you're not quite sure at first why.
He's got his classic blunderbuss.
Yeah, it's actually great. It's a great gun. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like an 80 caliber blunderbuss or something.
Yeah.
40 millimeter blunderbuss.
And then he shows everybody that he's making donuts.
He's making
Out of the
donuts
muffins.
out of the muffins by shooting holes in them. So, in a weird sort of thing, very early on, I mean, it works for the backstage line, Kermit introduces Fozzie's comedy act.
Yeah, and they cut away. Well, first there needs to be some heckling.
Yep.
So he does a little bit of his act, and then they kind of pan to backstage. But as they're panning to backstage, you hear him start the banana sketch, but you can't hear any of it.
Right. So I'll use this time to explain this. So Gags Beasley didn't just show up on The Muppet Show. He's been mentioned many times, including in interviews on The Merv Griffin Show, on Saturday Night Live, oddly enough, in 1977. Jack Burns hosted an episode. He was a Muppet Show writer, and he shows up as Gags Beasley.
So Gags Beasley is a running gag for the Muppets?
It is, but not just on The Muppet Show,
Yeah.
which I think is great. They go big with it. So, we're backstage now. Hilda was watching Fozzie deliver the banana sketch and just starts... She can't even describe the sketch to Kermit. She just keeps cracking up, which leads to the running gag of people making fun of Kermit for not knowing what the banana sketch is. Mm-hmm. And Kermit's like, I feel like someone's pulling my leg. This is after Fozzie comes backstage and is like, oh, Kermit, you haven't heard of the banana sketch before?
She gets it twice in a row. So
Twice in a row.
Yeah, Hilda and then Fozzie go at him, and then he feels like somebody's pulling his leg.
And Gonzo the Great is indeed pulling Kermit's leg. And then starts laughing that he doesn't know about the banana sketch, and Kermit says, get the heck out of here. Hey, we're at the dance.
Oh, and this is the tango/salsa tempoed version of that.
Yeah, we're not
music.
getting the classic music here. We're getting a tango of it. And it took me a
And
second.
people are
I'm
really
like, is
enjoying
this
it.
the same music, but just with a tango beat? And it is, you know? And most of the jokes are kind of based on locations around the world. Mildred talks about the changing of the guard in London. Pig tells her partner that she was born in Paris the usual way. And Rolf talks about his cousin who lives in the desert and runs very fast. Not because of the heat of the sand, but because of the distance between trees.
Oh, and this is, Animal and his usual dance partner kind of showing that they're completely made for each other, I think,
really
at this
are
point.
here. Yep.
Because Animal says he's falling for her and then literally falls, and then
They fall in all directions, forward, side.
like it's a dance. She's also completely into physically throwing herself into the ground.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. You know what this is? This is the Inner Beauty sketch, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's just mostly Sandy chatting with Sweetums.
Yep. They're in a garden courtyard here. Very nice set. Mm-hmm. Nice fountain, and it's sweet. Sweetum he's depressed here.
Because everybody's afraid of him.
Yep.
Flowers wilt around him. Dogs bite him.
Yep. And Sandy is like, hey, listen, you gotta look past your ugliness and appreciate the beauty within inside you. And that's a nice message.
Yeah. And it really showcases her, I guess her Disney, personality, where it's just you can't help but feel good around her.
Yeah, her good vibe. She seems like a Disney princess.
She does, absolutely. She talks like a Disney princess.
Right.
I mean that in the best possible way.
Right. And we got Muppy coming in here, played by first an actual dog and then cutting to a puppet who bites Sweetums. The flowers were wilting, and the dogs are biting him, Mm-hmm. But he's undeterred.
They really do spend a lot of time with this. I feel like
it's a weird
they were
bit
really
that they
trying to send a message to people. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's definitely a longer bit for no huge payoff in the end.
No.
But it's a cute skit.
Yeah, there's no song, there's no dance. It's just these two chilling out on a bench.
Yep. In this, it's a park, I guess, but it looks like Castle Foregrounds, really.
So in the end, the flower unwilts, and the dog gives him a little lick.
Yep.
And then he does his little
He dances a
leprechaun
little
kick
jig.
and
Yep.
walks away.
Yeah. Thank you, beautiful lady.
And then she feels so good about herself. She starts walking along, and she sees
The behemoth.
yeah, the other big orangey Oscar the Grouchy type.
Yeah, he looks like
character.
an orange Oscar the Grouch, but with legs and taller.
And no neck.
Yeah, but he's got those very cross eyebrows. And she tries the same thing on Behemoth.
Without him saying anything, she's like, I know you think you're ugly, but really you're beautiful inside.
And he throws a pie at her face.
She sort of deserved it at that point.
Most of the time when people get pies in their face, it looks delicious. But this one looks like shaving cream.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have done a better job with the pie.
That's your takeaway from this entire thing. Yeah. That pie doesn't look tasty.
It does not look tasty. Any guess what we have here?
We have the UK spot featuring Rolf.
And Gonzo. And they're singing Nobody.
Which is very sad. I mean, you're putting two of the most depressed Muppets together for a duet.
Yeah. Well, this song has a lot of history with Rolf. He performed it on his first appearance on the Jimmy Dean Show. September 26, 1963. So, I mean, this is a vaudeville song from, it was a hit in 1906.
Whoa. And it still holds up. I mean, it's a good, like, they have a good back and forth through it because there's sort of this call and response a little bit.
Yep.
Towards the end.
But Rolf starts getting so worked up, he starts, like, howling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun. That's, yeah. He just can't control himself. And the puppetry with the howling is really cute.
I mean, can you play piano and howl?
I can't
sadly?
really play piano that well.
There you go. But can you howl sadly?
I can. Oh, and he collapses in the end. Grief-stricken. And the audience loves it. Okay, so...
Scene opens on frogs in swamp.
It's true, and immediately this crocodile murks one of these frogs. Just swallows him whole.
Yeah, so Mary Louise rides in on the crocodile.
Yes.
Crocodile eats a frog, and then she's singing Never Smile at a Crocodile because clearly it's the frog's fault that they're getting eaten.
Yep. And this song comes from Disney's 1953 version of Peter Pan. And you hear this kind of tune playing in the background when Captain Hook is on screen.
I wonder, they must have done this because of Sandy Duncan Peter Pan connection.
One would only assume that. Yeah. And it's a very cool set. It looks, in my mind, like a Disney dark ride gone awry.
Sure.
It looks like the crocodile looks like he belongs in It's a Small World. Yeah, but Mary Louise is just right. I don't understand. I said this when we were watching it. I don't understand the relationship between Mary Louise and this crocodile. Why she is allowed to ride on the back of it. Is she
it seems like
the
crocodile should be singing Never Smile at Crocodile. I don't know why she's involved.
Yeah. And a horrifying part, oh my god, right before the frogs leap out of his mouth, is they're singing from the inside of the crocodile's
Yeah, that
mouth.
really bothered you.
It did.
That is,
like, oh, Jesus.
That's a Muppet trope, though.
I know,
we've seen that a few more times.
These are like partially digested frogs, presumably.
Theoretically, all of the things that have been eaten are partially digested.
All right.
Okay, now FaceTime with Kermit?
The talk spot, yep. And this time Fozzie is joining Kermit in the talk spot, only to continue to bust on Kermit about the fact that he doesn't know about the banana sketch. And Sandy tries to explain it. See, we haven't heard the banana sketch yet.
And we never will.
And we never will. And we think we're going to hear it because Sandy starts to explain it. But everyone keeps breaking down in laughter.
Yeah. And her fake laughter is so good.
It's really funny.
I love her fake laugh.
Yeah.
She completely loses it.
Yeah, she gets to the point where, they mentioned Gags Beasley again. She gets to the point in her laughing that she backhands Kermit off his little perch on the side of the stage.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Sorry, I just got distracted. So Sandy Duncan at this point is blind in one eye. She had a ocular cancer. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, she doesn't have a fake eye. She just they could keep the natural eye because it's still tracked with the other one. But you sort of see it in the way she completely turns from one to the other because she's...
Oh, well, yeah. I just always assumed she was just trying to act with the Muppets.
I mean, she is, but I just got distracted by it.
Yeah, because you knew that little fun fact and decided to share it with everyone. That's good. No, it's what we're here for. So yeah, no one can stop laughing about this banana sketch. I only wish I knew what it was. Presumably, it involves the color, because they're like, oh, wait.
Do you use a green banana or do you use a yellow banana?
Right. So is it a prop joke too?
One would imagine.
Yeah. Jeez.
And she starts to like these two bananas, and it almost seems like she's going to say these two bananas walk into a bar, but it's...
Right.
I have no idea.
Clearly, it's got to be more than that,
Yeah,
though.
it's a good one, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, these two bananas, and then she's just like finger walking.
Oh, my God. Oh, and there
Yep.
she knocked Kermit off. Oh, my God. Brilliant. Brilliant. Fozzie's just cracking up, too. At least Statler and Waldorf, they don't get the banana sketch either.
But they know it. They just don't get it.
Right. They get the New York Times and the Manchester.
Examiner or something.
Right.
All right, Muppet Newscast. Again, glasses. Good look.
Yep, the Muppet News Flash here, and this is another slightly longer one where Sandy is involved. She's playing Mrs. Billy Lee Bonkers from Texas, and she's trying to set the world jumping in place record.
Sandy Duncan is actually from Texas.
Oh,
Just
well,
so you know.
perfect.
Yeah. Like around this time, she was working with Disney. There was some like, Main Street America sort of celebration that they televised, and she was live from the Texas State Fair.
Oh, very cool.
And it's very cute.
Yeah, she breaks the record by standing on a hot plate. That's how she can jump in place so much.
It's important.
So we cut backstage, and Miss Piggy learns that Kermit has never heard of the banana sketch and is devastated. And Kermit tries to just be cool about it. He's like, hey, there is no banana sketch. There never was a banana sketch, and there never will be a banana sketch.
And he's kind of right.
Yep. And you know who shows up? The banana shows up. An actual Muppeted banana.
Banana.
Yep. This is the third time we've seen this banana, and the last time we'll see him alone outside of these singing food groups. Veterinarian's Hospital.
Of course.
Was Piggy on that gas again?
No, she was just polishing
The gas holder?
Yep.
She's always around that shit. So.
I mean, wouldn't you be?
Yeah. So, let's see here. Dr. Bob has just completed his first transplant, and he's already hoping for a second chance.
Because he left his watch in him.
I feel like that ticking thing is also like the clock being in the crocodile and Peter Pan.
Oh, sure.
I thought that was kind of like a weird little juxtaposition there. I mentioned last week how I like this skit a lot, Veterinarian's Hospital. That and Pigs in Space.
Yep.
Spoiler, it's probably my favorites.
Now we're over to Kermit and Sandy having their little duet.
Yep. They're on a little, what appears to be a little hillside. Nice wildflowers.
Yeah.
They're singing the song Try to Remember. And, a lot of rhyming in this song.
It's normal for songs.
I know, but I mean, it's...
It has a real Sound of Music vibe.
Oh, I can feel that. Yep. Well, it is from a play. You'll never guess who did the lyrics.
Sondheim?
Tom Jones.
Oh, okay.
Awesome, right? It's based off of like a French play. The play was The Fantastic. So if I didn't say that, the song.
Try to remember.
I didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah, so it starts with Sandy and Kermit just like on this hillside, and then gradually Muppets show up and start singing along with the Feel Good Muppet chorus, which I always enjoy.
Yeah, it's a good solid Muppet chorus for sure. I think it's amusing that Tom Jones did lyrics for a musical, though. I don't know why.
I feel like that makes sense.
Yep, it came out in 1960 off Broadway. It was being performed in the West End in 61. In 64, they had a TV special of it. It toured all the way up to 2014, this show. Wow, that seemed fast, right?
Yeah, that was a fast one.
That brings us to the end.
And
Kermit
a cute little
says,
pistachio dress.
Yep, absolutely. Sandy's looking smart in her dress there. Kermit tells Sandy that on some shows, guests are presented with a dozen roses at the end. Hey, what did Fozzie bring instead? Bushel of bananas.
And she doesn't miss a beat. She holds them like she just won Miss America.
Yep, waving with them.
She's a classy lady.
Yep. Sandy is touched by the gift. Yeah, well, I hope that's the last I ever hear of the banana sketch. Kermit ends with. Wow.
Yep.
What a fun episode.
Of course.
A lot of cool things to talk about. Hey, you know who's next, though? Candace Bergen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yep.
That's a great episode.
I knew you'd be excited to be reminded of that. Hey, until then, though, thank you for joining us For more, it's the Muppet Show Podcast. Check us out at itsthemuppetshowpodcast.com. You can also listen and watch full clips on YouTube at /itsthemuppetshowpodcast, where you can like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, if you want. We're also available on all major podcast providers. We definitely want you to follow or subscribe or whatever it's called there, and give us a rating, give us a review, give us the stars, and you can also contact us at
MuppetShowPodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you're thinking about.
Nice. All right. See you next time.